Good morning, team. Happy Monday and welcome to day 75 of your home workout. So we're going to wrap up the final day, day 6 of your All Out Mayhem at home. So we're going to have some moves that are going to be testing your mind and body. So grab yourself a mat or a towel, 2 medium weights or objects, and a mid band. If you haven't got one, come along for a fantastic workout. So we all know you're very tired, but you've got this. This last workout is going to have you crashing some isometric and lateral workouts. So have fun with this awesome workout, and I'll see you very soon.
Day 6 of All Out Mayhem. You made the decision to perform this workout. Now you earn those bragging rights. I'm Coach Jess. We have Joe over here performing the all-out variation of the exercises and M performing the option variation of the exercises. Some equipment you may need include a mat or towel, mini bands, medium weight objects, and a towel. Let's get started with our 5-minute long dynamic warm-up, each performed for a minute long. Starting off with those fire hydrants in tabletop position, we're gonna externally rotate our knee out, press back, extending through the leg, lower down and reset. Then extend out, flip it and reverse it in, slow and controlled. And let's switch sides here. So really warming up our hip flexors. Beautiful. So maintaining a nice and straight spine. Our gaze is down towards the floor. We're going to be taking it right into a plank to alternating ankle tap for 1 minute. So in that high plank position, hinging our hips up towards the sky as we reach towards that opposite ankle, lowering down and resetting for this whole minute here. Now remember, that option for this exercise, of course, is just go till your range of motion allows, even if you're not necessarily reaching all the way towards your ankle. Slow and controlled. You might even get a little bit of a calf stretch if you keep your heels pressed down. We have about 30 seconds left here as you work your way through. Now remember, raise your hips up and then we're slow and controlled, lower back down and reset. As you reset, you'll notice that M's wrists are stacked directly underneath her shoulders here. Beautiful alignment, love it. Now coming up in 10 seconds, we're gonna be taking it right to a standing alternating Spider-Man. So standing all the way up towards the sky. We're extending our arms up, taking your elbow towards your knee, crunching in, feeling a little bit of that oblique crunch, but keeping your chest nice and proud here. Beautiful work. Option, of course, limit that range of motion, maintaining that strong and straight spine, really driving your elbow towards your knee here. Awesome work. We're working on getting our heart rate up slowly but surely into that green zone, getting our body prepared for exercise. All right, now in 15 seconds, we're gonna really rev up that lower body with alternating reverse lunges. So keep working through this. I'm gonna be demoing. So in your standing set position, stepping that foot back, letting that back knee hover, and then standing it back up. Let's take it there in 3, 2, 1. Alternating reverse lunges. Now, as we perform this movement, keeping our chest lifted, our shoulders down and back, that back knee is just hovering over the floor. Beautiful. Now remember, for that option, just limit your range of motion. So not as much of a bend, but we're still stepping our foot nice and far back for that proper alignment, and then resetting back up at the top. We have 30 seconds left, and then we have one more exercise to get you through this dynamic warm-up. Joe, his knee is stacked over his ankle while he's keeping his chest nice and proud. It looks awesome. Now in 15 seconds, so keep working through this, we have 1 minute of butt kicks. So in your standing set position, we're driving our heel towards our glutes for this entire minute. Option, we can always take that power out. 1 minute of butt kicks, team, in 3, 2, 1, butt kicks, let's go. Good, our body is getting warmed up. Joe may be getting into that green zone, you too. Yes. Beautiful. So our lower body is getting fired up. We're keeping our core engaged and slowly but surely focusing on elevating our heart rate. Our body is sure going to be ready for what's to come on day 6 of Mayhem. 30 seconds left here, team. Keep it moving. Find that consistent tempo. Beautiful. You have just about 15 seconds left to work. Keep moving. Keep that chest proud, core nice and engaged. And team, we are going to be shutting it down in 3, 2, 1. Shut it down. Let's get ready for block number 1. Block number 1, we have 5 timed exercises, all descending in time and all with mini band. So let's go ahead and take a seat as we put our mini band on in mid band position just below our knees. Our first exercise is going to be an iso squat lateral walk for 90 seconds. You heard right. So you're going to be in that standing set position with feet hip width apart. We're sinking nice and low in our heels and we're stepping 1, 2, 3 to one side, 1, 2, 3 to the other for 90 seconds. Let's take off, team, in 3, 2, 1, lateral walk. Beautiful. So I'm going to take off my mini band, but you guys get to keep it on all block long. 90 seconds of work here. Slow and controlled movements win the race. So as we're working our way through this, we're staying heavy in our heels, just a slight bend in the knee so we really feel that activation of our lower body. Adding in mini bands into your routine helps to recruit additional muscle fibers that we normally would not feel or utilize without the mini band. If you don't have it though, I promise it is okay because you will sure as heck still feel the burn. We're just about halfway through this block. Em, are you feeling it in those outer thighs? Those abductors? Love it. Now remember, another option, of course, is stand up at some point and just shake it out. Keep on working your way through here. 30 seconds left, and we are gonna love these mini bands today, right, Joe? Yes. So remember, as we're walking laterally, let's keep our knees pressed outward. We really wanna feel it in those outer thighs. We don't wanna let those knees cave in. Keep working through, but our next exercise is gonna keep that mini band on with a squat to a lateral leg lift. So you're in that standing set position, we're gonna squat down, stand up, laterally lift one leg up for 75 seconds, alternating in 3, 2, 1. Squat to alternating leg lift here. A little goes a long way. Good, so remember, let's keep our core nice and braced. We don't want that lateral flexion of your torso, of that trunk. Keep it engaged, keep those shoulders parallel to the ground. Now, as you perform that leg lift, keep your foot flexed and you'll still feel that little burn. Limit your range of motion as you need to here. I bet you're feeling it after that lateral walk too, right? Yes, beautiful job. Slow and controlled, just a small range of motion, keeping your core nice and engaged. Those outer thighs are burning. Now coming up, we're gonna give our legs a little bit of a break and work our back and our core coming up. So keep working through. Next one is a plank low row for 1 minute. So grabbing those medium weight objects in that high plank position, we're going to grab that object, row, scrape the elbow right next, and then alternate from side to side for 1 minute. In 3, 2, 1, plank low row. 1 minute here, so giving our legs a little bit of a break, but of course, we are still feeling that tension because our mini band is still on. Now remember that option, just like Em, she has her knees down, but her hips are still square and a little bit lower, but still engaging her core and her lower back here. Think of that mind-muscle connection. As we bend our elbow, really squeeze those back muscles, almost like you're squeezing a tic-tac between your shoulder blades. You are over halfway through this exercise, and then we're gonna work our chest. Coming up, 45 seconds of an iso bridge chest fly. So we're in that hip bridge position, objects directly over, and we're squeezing up at the top for 45 seconds in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So focus on that breath. Inhale and exhale throughout this entire range of motion here. You get a little combo platter of engaging your hamstrings, your glutes, your core, and your chest. Slow and controlled, making sure those ankles are stacked directly underneath those knees. In 15 seconds, we're gonna go right into a static crunch with alternating heel touch. Keep working through, but coming up, we're going to get rid of those weights. We're gonna lift our upper back off the ground. Palms are facing up. Slowly reach our hand towards our heel for a total of 30 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Let's take it up. So right now, think about sliding your fingers along the outer edges of your heels. We're working our obliques and our transverse abdominis. Only 15 seconds left, and then you are done with this block team. Make sure you're breathing, Joe. Beautiful. Love that range of motion, keeping that core braced. Shut it down in 3, 2, 1, rest. Block number 2, 4 minutes long, alternating between 2 different exercises for 4 rounds. 20 seconds of work, followed by 10 seconds of rest. First exercise is a 3-step lateral sprint. So in your standing set position, we're gonna pretend there's an imaginary box at our side. We're gonna step both feet in and then driving our knee up as fast as you can for 20 seconds. Let's get to work, team. In 3, 2, 1, lateral sprint. So we're focusing on quick feet here for 20 seconds. Then we'll have 10 seconds of well-deserved rest. Halfway there, friends. Now remember, if you have that option, of course, we can take that power component out. And we are resting in 3, 2, 1, rest. Coming up right into a plank shoulder tap. In that high plank position, we're gonna tap that hand to your opposite shoulder for 20 seconds in 3, 2, 1, 20 seconds here. Beautiful, so let's start from the base of support. Our feet are hip width apart. Our hips are square, shoulders stacked directly over our wrists. Joe, I can tell that core is on fire. Rest in 3, 2, 1, rest. 1 round down, 3 more to go. Going right into that lateral sprint, team, in 3, 2, 1, lateral sprint. Oh, let's see those quick feet. Our goal here is to slowly elevate that heart rate. This entire block works our entire body. This is designed to elevate your heart rate here. Find that consistent pace in rest in 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, shake it out. We are going right into that plank shoulder tap, 20 seconds. Ready or not, here it comes in 3, 2, 1, shoulder tap. Now I know I said it quickly, but we want to take it slow. Think about that mind-muscle connection. We have that beautiful tall glass of water on our back. Joe, we don't want to spill it, right? So really focusing on those hips square to the ground. M, showing that option, performing it from the knees. In 3, 2, 1, rest. This is flying by, huh? 2 rounds down, 2 more to go. Right into that lateral sprint in 3, 2, 1, 20 seconds here. Let's see, can you keep and maintain that same pace as your first 2 rounds, Joe? M, I can tell you're engaging your core as you drive your knee up. That is beautiful there. Keep working, chest is nice and proud. You earned a rest in 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, how still can we have our hips towards that ground? Right into that plank shoulder tap in 3, 2, 1, shoulder tap. Now can we slow it down a little bit more? Beautiful. Anti-rotation of the hips is where it's at. sucking that belly button in towards your spine. 10 seconds left here. M is keeping her wrist stacked directly underneath her shoulders. You earn that recovery in 3, 2, 1, rest. Round 4. Oh my goodness, we already made it. We're jumping in. Let's see if we can pick up that pace a little bit more. In 3, 2, 1, lateral sprint. Come on, pick it up, Joe. Yes, drive that knee, M. Using those arms for a little bit of momentum here. Yes, final 10, final 10. Last round, what can we do here? See if we can get that heart rate into the orange. And just like that, rest in 3, 2, 1, rest. 20 seconds, and then you get a little short break right after this block. Last round of that plank shoulder tap, team, in 3, 2, 1, plank shoulder tap. So we got that heart rate up, but now we're really focusing on bracing our core. Hips are square. You have 10 seconds. Hang with us here. Oh, I know those hips aren't swinging. Keep them square, keep them square. Shut it down in 3, 2, 1, rest. You made it. 4 rounds just flew by. Nice work. Block number 3, 5 minutes coming at ya. Same exact exercises from block number 1, but in reverse order. You know what that means, right? With a mini band. So once again, taking a seat, putting it in mid-band position. This time we're starting off with 30 seconds of a static crunch with alternating heel touch. So we're lying supine on the ground, knees are bent 90 degrees. We're lifting our upper back up off the ground, palms are up, and we're reaching our hands towards our heels for 30 seconds. We are taking off, team, in 3, 2, 1, heel crunch. Now, as we're working our way through this movement, make sure our back is staying flat up against the ground and our neck is relaxed. We tend to sometimes really tighten it up too much. Make sure we're relaxed here. Now, coming up, we're going right into 45 seconds of an iso bridge chest fly. So remember, hips are up, object is directly over our chest, and we're raising it to the side, lowering it to the side and raising it back up in 3, 2, 1, iso hip bridge with a chest fly. 45 seconds here. Remember, engaging a lot of muscle groups here. Our hamstrings, our glutes, core, and chest. Slow and controlled. Remember, option, you can do it without any weight or just lighten the weight here. When we're looking, let's really make sure that our ankles stay stacked directly underneath our knees. We're really engaging our glutes so that we protect our lower spine. Coming up, we have 1 minute of a plank low row. So we're gonna be grabbing your objects. We're in that high plank position and rowing, bending our elbow, scraping it right next to the side, and alternating in 3, 2, 1. Let's take off here. So that mini band is staying on for this entire minute. If we need a little bit of stabilization, we can always bring our feet out a little bit wider so you'll have a wider base of support, but keep in mind that you do have the mini band on so you'll feel a little bit more resistance as well. Now keep in mind, as you reset, make sure that your wrists stay stacked underneath your shoulders. Once again, focusing on keeping your hips square to the ground. Now coming up, we are gonna be burning out our lower body again with that squat to alternating leg lift for 75 seconds. So remember, in that standing set position, we're sinking down heavy on our heels, standing back up, and then laterally lifting our leg to the side, alternating for 75 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Take it off. All right, Joe, we feeling that core braced? Yes, so with that plank low row, of course, we worked our back muscles, of course, engaging our core as well. So now let's think of that mind-muscle connection, keeping our core braced throughout this entire range of motion. As we start to get tired, our chest might start fall forward, or we might start to hyperextend our lower back. So bracing that core is extremely important here. Keeping that foot flexed as she just has that small range of motion. 30 seconds left to work before our last 90-second exercise. So keeping those shoulders stacked, try not to let them rotate at all. You are both crushing it here. Now coming up with that mini band still, we have that iso squat to lateral walk. So just the lateral walk in your standing set position, heavy in your heels, stepping out 3 to the side, and then alternating to the other side in 3, 2, 1. 90 seconds, let those legs burn. Whew. So we're just doing lateral. I almost gave you guys a little bit of a bonus, and that is okay. Keeping your chest proud, slight bend in your knees here. Do you want to earn that recovery coming up? Yes. So remember, try not to bounce your hips up. Try to keep them stable as you rotate to the side. Slow and controlled wins the race here. So keep those hips square. Try not to bounce them as you laterally walk from side to side. Those abductors, those outer thighs are burning by now. You are halfway through, 45 seconds left to work. Let's go, let's go. Remember, as we start to get tired, our knees might start to cave in, so keep your knees pressed out. As always, go ahead and stand up if you need to, and then let's jump right back into it. We need to focus on that proper form here. Less than 30 seconds to go. Yes. Do we have 15 more seconds? Yes, we got this. Try to see if we can sink 1 inch lower, but maintain that proper form. Final few seconds here. Keep moving, team. Shutting it down in 3, 2, 1. Shut it down. Awesome job. Block number 4 is 5 minutes long, 5 exercises, increasing in time. Starting off on your mat or towel with 30 seconds of a seated torso rotation. So knees are bent with our heels grounded, lifting the lower back out of the spine, grabbing an object, gluing it against your chest. From here, we're rotating from side, resetting to the center, to the other side for 30 seconds. In 3, 2, 1, seated torso rotation. Beautiful. So let's keep our heels flexed. They stay grounded on the mat. Only 30 seconds here, really engaging our core. Coming up for 45 seconds, we're going right into a plank jack. So keep working through. We're going to get into that high plank position, wrist stacked underneath the shoulders with our feet together. Small range of motion, jumping our feet out at the same time. Option, we can always step it in one at a time. In 3, 2, 1, 45 seconds, team. So just a small range of motion because we really want to brace our core and avoid bouncing of the hips up and down, keeping our wrists stacked underneath the shoulder. Option, if we want to take off that power, just step it out one at a time. Another option, you could also use a stool, a couch to elevate your hands as well. Right after this, in 15 seconds, we're gonna stand it up into a speed skater for 1 whole minute. So in your standing set position, we're laterally hopping from side to side, letting our back foot hover right behind our front. 1 minute here in 3, 2, 1, speed skaters. So now this exercise, we are focusing on elevating our heart rate, maybe earning a splat point. How about that, Joe? Yes, so remember that back foot is just going right behind that other option. Take the power out. Focus on that knee drive up. Laterally exploding from side to side for a whole minute. Don't worry, because in 30 seconds, we're gonna keep working our legs. You ready for that, Em? Yeah, why not, right? Halfway there, driving your knee up. So remember, anytime we drive our knee up, we're really bracing our core, working those muscles here. Now, coming up for 75 seconds, we have an alternating lateral lunge. So we're in that standing set position, stepping out laterally, sinking nice and low, resetting up at the top, alternating from side to side. 75 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Let's take it up. So resetting back up at the top, stepping our foot together, and then alternating from side to side. Option, we can always slightly limit that range of motion. Remember, as we bend our knee, let's try to keep your knee tracking over your ankle. We don't want to let that knee cave out too much here. So slow and controlled, synchronized and low. Reset at the top. Make sure you have your balance here, and then alternating from side to side. Keep working through. We got one exercise to end this block off. Pace yourself here. This is a little bit of a longer exercise time-wise. We still have 30 seconds. Adjust your intensity so you can continue throughout this entire movement here. Joe keeping his knee stacked over his ankle. Our last exercise, we're gonna be taking it to the floor for 90 seconds, leg raise to a hip raise. So supine on the ground, legs are extended. We're gonna lower our heels down, reset back up at the top, right into that hip raise. 90 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Leg raise to hip raise. So we elevated our heart rate. Now it's time to really focus on that mind-muscle connection. Slow and controlled wins the race, keeping feet nice and flexed. Remember, option over here, just like M, bend the knees to shorten the lever. So slight bend with the leg raise, pop up, raise your hips up. Awesome job. 30 seconds down, pace yourself here. A little bit longer, but we know we love to work our core. Also a little bit of hip flexor action as well. Good, so take your time. If you feel like you start to lose that range of motion, take a breath and reset. Great job, slow and controlled. Now, when we do this range of motion, keep our back nice and flat. Try to keep our feet flexed as we bend our knee. We have just under 30 seconds, and then you get to recover here. Joe, got a few more good quality reps in you? I see that sweat on your mat. Awesome job. Less than 10 seconds. Let's see if we can get 1 or 2 more quality reps in. I'm really focusing on that breath here. In 3, 2, 1, rest. Block number 5 is 4 minutes long, alternating between 2 exercises for 4 rounds. 20 seconds of work, followed by 10 seconds of rest. First exercise is a tuck jump for 20 seconds in your standing set position. You're jumping your feet up towards your chest. Option, we're gonna take that power out. Jumping right into it in 3, 2, 1, tuck jumps. Pace yourself here. This is a high intensity plyometric exercise. 10 seconds down, 10 seconds. Pace yourself here. Remember, option, jump your feet back and forth, focusing on that power. In 3, 2, 1, rest. Taking it right into a forearm plank punch in a low plank position, elbow stacked underneath the shoulders. Extending your arm, punching it directly in front of you. In 3, 2, 1, forearm plank punch here. So once again, our feet are gonna be about hip width apart, a little bit more stabilization. You can always step your feet out a little bit wider. Anti-rotation of the hips is what we're focused on. Go ahead and rest in 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, 1 down, 3 to go. All right, let's get ready to train your inner athlete. Round 2 of tuck jumps in 3, 2, 1, tuck jumps. So this also takes a lot of core power. Joe, I'm sure you're feeling it as you're driving your knees slightly up towards your chest as well. Pace yourself for that consistent movement. A little bit of arm movement helps with that momentum. 3, 2, 1, rest. Take it to the floor. Working your core, working a little bit of shoulder as you add in that punch in 3, 2, 1. Take it to that plank punch. So we're exploding out, making sure that as we reset, our elbows stay stacked directly underneath our shoulders. Halfway there. Our gaze is towards the ground. You earned a recovery in 3, 2, 1, rest. Okay, halfway, 2 down, 2 to go. Are we ready for this? Shake it out. Let's take it off in 3, 2, 1, tuck jumps. Okay, Joe. We practiced those first 2 rounds and we are revving it up. Em is picking up her pace. Awesome job. 10 seconds here. Beautiful. So use a little bit of that hand movement. If you want to drive your knees up, go ahead and rest in 3, 2, 1, rest. All right. Now, as we start to get fatigued, this becomes a little bit more challenging. So really focus on bracing your core. 3, 2, 1, plank punches. Good. I know we've referenced this a few times, but remember, tall glass of water, we don't want to spill it. Hips are squared towards the ground. Joe crushing it, Em crushing it. Go ahead and rest. 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, round 4. Give yourself what you can right here, right now. Tuck jumps in 3, 2, 1, tuck jumps. Come on. Let's see if we can get that heart rate up into that orange zone here. Yes, pick up that pace. Let's see if we can move our feet a little bit quicker here. Earn that short and sweet recovery. Over halfway there. Yes, see a few more good quality reps. And just like that, shut it down. 3, 2, 1, shut it down. All right, shake it out. Get your body ready. Final 20 seconds, and then you get a little bit of a longer of a recovery. Plank punches in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, now whatever you do, let's focus on keeping your hips square, elbows stacked. Focus on that continual movement. 10 seconds is all you have left. Dig deep here. And just like that, you have earned your recovery in 3, 2, 1. Rest and give that person a little fist bump up in here. Nice work. Block 6 is 5 minutes long, same exact exercises from block number 4, but in reverse. Starting off with 90 seconds of a leg raise to hip raise. So lying supine on our ground, our back is flat, legs are extended with our feet flexed. We're gonna slowly lower our legs till our heels are hovered over, drive straight up, popping our hips up towards the sky to reset for 90 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Leg raise to hip raise. Now let's think about this. It's 90 seconds long, so let's focus on a good intensity, a good pace that we can maintain this entire 90-second effort. So we're working our lower transverse abdominis, keeping our back flat, our head is flat against the ground as well. Think about breathing. As we start to become fatigued, we might start to try to hold our breath. Think about that breath. Inhale, exhale throughout this entire movement. Keep in mind that option, just bend those knees slightly to shorten that lever. The good news with this block, our times for each exercise are descending, so working our way down that pyramid. And guess what, Em? It's already over halfway there. As needed, if you need to just take a rest and lower your heels down to the ground for just a second, that's totally fine. Now, coming up, we are going to be raising ourselves off the ground in just over 15 seconds with your alternating lateral lunge. So in your standing set position, focus on that lateral lunge. So sinking nice and low for 75 seconds here, letting our knee track over our ankle, chest stays nice and proud. Now that option, remember, just limit that range of motion. Once again, a little bit shorter than that first exercise, we still want to focus on pacing ourselves throughout this entire movement. Now, as we laterally step, think about staying heavy in our heels. We want to think about being able to wiggle our toes as we step our feet out here. Just about 30 seconds left, and we're gonna continue to work our legs. Em, how's that feeling? Feels great. Joe, how about you? Wonderful, that is his favorite word, I think. All right, coming up, we're going right into a speed skater. So standing in our standing set position, we're laterally jumping from side to side, letting our back foot hover here for 1 minute. Let's take off in 3, 2, 1, speed skaters. Good, so a little bit of stabilization, a little bit of ankle stabilization, especially since we're just hovering from one side to the other. Remember that option, take a little bit of that power out, but focus on still driving your knees towards your chest. Consistent intensity. If you don't feel like you're able to maintain this throughout the entire minute, adjust as needed. This is also meant to still elevate our heart rate, maybe still earn a splat point here. Coming up, we are gonna be taking it right to the ground for a plank jack for 45 seconds. So keep working through this movement. For our plank jack, we're in our high plank position. We're jumping our feet out and in, focusing on keeping our hips square to the ground here. It's only 45 seconds. We have got this, team. We're taking off in 3, 2, 1. Plank jacks, 45 seconds here. Once again, that consistent tempo is what we're looking for. Keeping our glute engaged, avoiding bouncing of the hips. Option, step it out, but you sure as heck will still feel it here. Emma's shaking her head throughout this movement. Love it. Keeping her wrists stacked directly underneath the shoulders. Now coming up, 30 seconds of a seated torso rotation, and then you get to rest. So keep working through. For that rotation, remember, we're grabbing that object, heels are glued, object is glued against our chest. We're rotating from side, resetting to the center, rotating to the other side. 30 seconds, let's take off in 3, 2, 1, seated torso rotation. Now, keep in mind, if you want to feel it even a little bit more, keeping the object glued against the chest, you can always slightly lean back. Sometimes our back is about 45-degree angle between our back and the floor. We can always lower it down to challenge it just a little bit more. Less than 10 seconds here. Good, keeping our heel glued, and we are shutting it down in 3, 2, 1, rest. You did not come this far to only come this far. Block 7, final block before flexibility, 2-minute long plank hold. Let's get ready. We're gonna be in your set position, feet hip width apart, elbows stacked underneath the shoulder, hands in line like railroad tracks, and our gaze is going to be down. 2-minute hold. Tell yourself you can, and you will. In 3, 2, 1, plank hold. Let's dig deep here. Remember that option, we can always perform from the knees. I promise you will still feel that core engagement. Let's think about our kinetic chain here. Starting from the base of support, working our way up. We ideally want our feet hip width apart. Let's think of our shoulder, trunk, and hips. So hips aligned, glutes and quads really squeezed and engaged. Belly button to spine, relaxing our shoulders. Think about bone stacking. We want our elbows stacked directly underneath our shoulders, hands in line like railroad tracks. So wrist directly in alignment with the elbows. Just like that, we're coming up on your halfway mark. 1 minute down, 1 to go, and you are stronger than you think. You have got this here. Focus on that nice deep breath. Belly button to spine. We want to protect that lower back here. Keep holding it, keep breathing. You have made it to day 6 of Mayhem. We can do this. You can do anything for 30 seconds, and guess what? That is all you've got. Joe, I know you're shaking, but you are going to feel so proud once you are done with this hold here. Em crushing it. Shoulders is staying stacked. She's smiling her way through it. We have got this, team. Final 15. Can we hang on to it? Breathe our way through it. You are gonna feel so good once you're done. And just like that, let's go ahead and lower in 3, 2, 1, rest. Shake it out. You have completed it. All we have left is a little bit of flexibility. Awesome job. We made it to our flexibility block, day 6 of All Out Mayhem. We have 5 different stretches, each performed for roughly 3 breath cycles, starting off with a standing reverse shoulder stretch. So if you do have a towel, very beneficial. We're gonna be in our standing set position. We're gonna grab your towel and behind our back and slowly just raise our arms up until our range of motion allows. So we're feeling it in our chest and our shoulders. Only go until your range of motion allows so we avoid hinging at the hips here. Take a few nice deep breaths in through your nose and slowly exhale through your mouth. How's this feel, team? Pretty good. Decent amount of shoulder work over the last few days. Awesome job. All right, coming up, we're going to start with that lying hamstring stretch. So with our towel, we're gonna lie supine on the ground. One leg is extended on the ground. We're gonna wrap the towel around your foot and lay back and just feel that stretch in your hamstring. So right now we're just trying to keep our ankles stacked over our hip here, and then we're actually gonna adjust it and wiggle a little bit to the sides. Focus on keeping our back flat. As you exhale, if you do have a little bit more range of motion, go ahead and utilize that. And let's slowly lower our leg to the right hand side, so just out. You're gonna feel a little bit of a different pull within the muscles in your hamstring here. Good, bring it back to center and let's go in. So rotate it in, still focusing on keeping our foot flexed here. Focusing on those 3 breath cycles. You don't have to time it out perfectly. Just listen to your body. We definitely need that time to recover after all of those fun workouts. Go ahead and bend the knee, unwrap your towel, and let's switch sides. So raising that leg up, wrap that towel around. Keep your ankle stacked over your hip. So this one is directly over. You might notice a little bit of asymmetry here. So maybe one side is a little bit tighter than the other. Make sure you show some equal love so you have that proper movement as you complete these workouts, both in the studio and at home. Go ahead and slowly rotate it out. Joe, feel a little bit of a different pull, right? Beautiful. Take that nice deep breath. Good, bring it back to center and then slowly rotate it in. Whew, feels a little tighter there. Does one side feel a little bit different than the other, team? Yes, so we need to make sure that we're aware of that so that we can properly utilize these different stretches to make sure that we don't have those muscle imbalances. Good, bring it back to center. Slowly come up to a seated position. We have a seated calf stretch. So we're sitting up nice and tall on our sit bones. Let's wrap that towel around our back, but really focus on lifting our lower back out of our hips, relaxing our shoulders, and just pulling slightly on your feet. Good. So flexing our feet. So right now we're doing both at the same time. You're more than welcome to do one side at a time. Equally stretch out both sides here. And then we're gonna go right into a hurdler stretch. So let's bend our left leg, so bringing our heel in. Still grabbing onto that towel, we're gonna hinge, rotate towards that right foot with our foot flexed. Hinge down, try to wrap that towel around, but once again, wiggling up nice and tall, shoulders down and away from our ears. So those breath cycles are extremely important. As you exhale, you might feel yourself being able to get a little bit bigger range of motion throughout this move. So if you can walk your hands a little bit farther up that towel, by all means, just make sure you keep your back nice and flat. And let's flip it and reverse it. Go ahead and switch legs. Wiggle up tall, square your hips, wrap that towel around, and just feel that slight pull. Take these nice deep breaths. 6 days of mayhem, and you absolutely crushed it. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and release. Last one is our seated hamstring stretch. So both feet straight up, and we're slowly wrapping that towel around. This time, so a little bit different. Think about really pressing and feeling that stretch in your hamstring a little bit more than your calf for this one. Slowly hinge a little bit farther down. So this is where your back might just slightly rotate a little bit forward, so you feel a little bit more of a pull. Now keep in mind, every single workout that you complete, your body changes on a cellular level. Think about all that work, all of that effort that you've put in, and congratulate yourselves. And just like that, you finished All Out Mayhem. Share your hard work with your family and friends by using the hashtag @HomeMayhem, and give it up for yourselves, y'all. Awesome job.